My name is Hardi Hansen. I'm chief engineer on pelagic trawler in Finnafrúi, in a company called Varðin in Faroe Islands. And also I am project engineer on a project called Mackerel pump system. And the reason for this project I will show with a problem or a challenge we had, and which solution we came up with, and the advantages and maybe disadvantages. Finnafrúi is the fishing method of Finnafrúi is purse seining and trawling, single trawling, and pair trawling. And the equipment for this is on the ship all the time. So the skipper makes a decision which fishing method is the best for the fish. And the challenge was that caused by the lack of agreement between the coastal states with regards to mackerel, which has been since 2010. Before 2010, we caught the mackerel in that area. This one. In Norwegian and EU zone, coastal zone. After 2010, we had to catch the mackerel in the yellow area, within the Faroese zone. And the fishery in the Norwegian zone is right now, it's between September and November. And the fishing in the Faroe zone for mackerel is from May to October. And in the Norwegian area, the mackerel schools are gathered together with quantity of several hundred tons normally, which is very good for purse seining. It's ideal for purse seining, and there's no need to trawl for the fish in that area. But in the Faroese area, the mackerel from May to October is more scattered, and the schools are maybe 5 tons. That's a guess. So purse seining is not working. There has to be trawling to catch the mackerel efficiently in the Faroese area. And before 2010, we were fishing in the Norwegian area, and we're used to sell the mackerel to sushi in the Japanese market, which is the best price. And they are very strict on quality, and they always have differentiated between trawling mackerel and purse seining mackerel, as purse seining being the better quality. So we wanted to, after 2010, we wanted to come back to the same quality fishing as we had before 2010 with trawling. And that would be to get the fish, get the mackerel from the sea up to the storage tank in the ship as gentle as possible to keep the high quality of the mackerel. And the fishing method for Finnafrúi and the other vessels in the company is RSV cooling tanks. There's no fabric, no on board. Is it called fabric? Yeah. Factory. Thank you. It's not a factory fishing vessel. It's just for tanks, holding tanks, and discharge it to a factory on shore. So the problem was that the quality of the mackerel could be lowered because of the duration of the trawling. It's within the sea water temperature is 8 to 10 degrees, and the catch is maybe 500 tons stuffed in the cod end for several hours. And that could be an area for improvement. That could be, and especially in June and July, the mackerel is softer than normal. It's more fragile to rough handling. I could maybe show a normal 24-hour period as being towing for 10 hours and hauling, pumping, hauling the gear, pumping and shooting the gear again, and then hauling and trawling for 10 hours, and so on. One solution could be to shorten the time the fish is in the cod end, maybe only towing for 2 hours. But that would not be, the skipper does that. He thinks about the length of the tow and how long it should be to get the best quality. But shortening the towing time to 2 hours would not be profitable. It would be, there's too much wasted time within the 24-hour period. And then we came up with this solution. Where we could get a third ship to pump the mackerel from the cod end directly up to a following ship. And the advantages are several. One is that for one trip we could shoot the gear and just continue towing and pumping for a period, 24 hours, 48 hours, 3 days, if needed. And the mackerel would be pumped up to the aft ship within just minutes after being free swimming. And this, we think, would be quality improvement for the fishery. So we did, early 2012, we did some research of what was already in this area, and the only thing we could find was the krill fishery in the Antarctic, which had a similar, there were only one boat, but they were pumping the krill up to the ship. So we had something to look at, but there was nothing for the pelagic mackerel or herring. We couldn't find any fishery which looked like this. So we did some thinking and did some small model tests. And in March last year, we built a prototype of the special pump, and we had specially made fish hose, and we had an umbilical cord, you could say. There's electric and hydraulic connection down to the pump for video cable and electric and hydraulic control system. And we used just a normal trawl. Actually, the very first trip, we used just like if a kid would have just got a driver's license, you would give it the old car. So we used the old trawl, and we used an old cod end, and we used an old pump, and we used an old fish hose. Just old equipment that was put away, but it worked fine. We were very happy with the results, and so we moved on to using a good trawl, mackerel trawl, but we used the normal trawl and the normal belly. But we soon found that the cod end needed improvement. We started out with a normal cod end. Somebody mentioned T90 yesterday, so I'll mention it as well. We used a normal cod end with normal meshes. And we found that the aft equipment and the ship were pulling the cod end, and it was squeezed. This is a still photo of a video camera placed here. It was squeezed to 20 centimeters, where the orbital opening should be maybe 2 meters. So we took another cod end that we had, which was a T90 cod end, but the aftmost 2 sections of 20 meters was normal net. We didn't have a cod end which had T90 all the way. But we saw improvements in the front area. It was a good opening, but we still had this tight area. The area here where it would narrow down to half a meter or thereabout. And the pump size, it was 1.6 meters. So because of that, the flow was good here, but stopped here. So there was no natural flow, no flow aft to the pump. So we had to make a special cod end. We didn't make it, somebody made it for us. That was T90 all the way aft. And that is the cod end we have used since. And the flow is reasonably good all the way to the pump. The fish hose we haven't changed. It was we got a special hose made, and it has been working well. The challenge is that the trawling speed is 5 knots, and the drag force is really high at that speed. The force doubles, or is the force increases exponentially with the increased speed. Yeah, I would like to show some advantages with this method. One of them is that with the traditional trawling, we get the cod end up to the ship side, maybe 500 tons, and it is pumped directly into the holding tanks within half an hour or so. And we keep refrigerated water at minus 1.8 degrees in the tanks, and the mackerel that comes in is 8 to 10 degrees. So the mixture gets a temperature of 6 degrees, and then the cooling equipment on the ship starts to work on this mass to cool it down to minus 1.8 degrees. And this takes several hours from the fish has landed in the holding tanks. With this direct pumping, we get the fish gradually in the tanks with a flow of 50 tons per hour maybe. 100 tons, 50 tons per hour. And Finnafree is capable of cooling 170 tons of fish from 10 degrees to 0 degrees per hour, theoretically. So actually we can keep the fish, we can cool the fish as it comes, as it is pumped directly into the tank. We can cool it down right away. And I did a small. This is a test I made last year with the continuous flow of mackerel on that ship. And this is a sample taken every 10 minutes of the core temperature of the mackerel from the holding tank. Right after in the area it was around 8 degrees where we were fishing. And within 10 minutes of landing in the tank, the temperature was 2 degrees Celsius, core temperature. 20 minutes it was 0 degrees. And after 1 hour it was down to the temperature we wanted to be. And I could compare this to purse seining and normal trawling. And I would have the other curve I would have here, minus 1.5 within 1 hour. Purse seining, I showed we get the 500 tons, 400 tons in the ship, and the cooling machinery starts to work, and the fish is not down below 0 until 3, 4, 5 hours after being caught. And with normal trawling, it's even longer time. This is the trawling period for where the fish is caught in the cod end, and then it's pumped up to the ship, and then the ship starts to cool it, and it's 8, 9, 10 hours from the fish has been caught in the cod end until it's down at a good temperature. So that's one advantage as well. Here I have some pictures. This is the specially made pump. This is the cod end, specially made cod end fish hose. Here it's seen from another view. This is the front vessel, Trandurgöta, one of the vessels. And he is shooting his gear at the same time as Finnafree is shooting this gear. And this is while the gear has come out. Fish hose and hydraulic and electric connections with your cables. And the front ship is shooting the trawl. Here's a very popular fish last year, the very first fish we got through this system. It was not a mackerel. It was just, I don't think you can eat it. And this is my oldest son. This is actually a video of how do we start this. Here. This is you can see one of the front vessels here. This is the continuous pumping of mackerel. So, I've listed up some advantages, and it's gentle to the fish, and there's no stuffing in the cod end. The skipper can very fast see which kind of fish it is and which size. There's a constant feed, as I showed. It's faster cooling by several hours. And there's a good possibility to have some extra equipment since we have the hydraulic and electric connection to the cod. And it enhances the skipper's experience reading the sonar picture, because normally they see the sonar picture and when they haul, they don't know exactly what it was right there on that picture. They know that it was maybe mackerel, maybe herring, maybe a mixture. But here they can see the fish coming in and see the sonar picture and get experience on what kind of fish is coming in. It's time efficiency. There's only need to shoot and haul once per trip. And it's gentler pumping. The specially made pump is roughly the same pump as we use for the quick pumping. And I got the yellow card yet. We normally pump at a rate of 1,000 tons per hour. But with this method, there's a constant feed of 50 tons, 100 tons, with practically the same pump, which should be much gentler, I would think. That's just a thought. And I have listed some disadvantages. Currently, we need 3 vessels. There's more equipment, there's more things to break. The skipper usually wants to have the fishing gear as simple as possible. And then I have listed trawling not normally as efficient as purse seining. But it's not far from, but purse seining is generally less energy consuming. That was it. Any questions?
What's the towing speed?
5 knots. 5 knots.
Could you reduce that?
No, wouldn't catch the mackerel. Yeah.
What's the distance that you're pumping
The fish house is 120 meters. So the depth is this is on the surface, so the depth is 40 meters, 50 meters, and this is 120 meters. And the reason for not connecting the fish house to one of these vessels is because the distance from here to here is 1.2 kilometers, 1,200 meters, 1,400 maybe. Yes.
Did you compare the quality?
It's very hard for us to compare, because the mackerel is actually, but the other mackerel that we catch right away on the ship, it doesn't look different. The thing is that the only response we get is from the buyer or from the quality guy on the factory, and we got some response from one of the buyers or exporters, and from last year he said that he had only got claims from mackerel that was not caught with this method. So he got no claims on the fish from this. Yeah.
How is it with mortality?
Mortality?
Yeah, I mean, immediate. Yeah, how many survives?
Nobody, none.
Nobody survives. No, not in the end. But I mean, when it goes into the tank.
It doesn't survive.
They are dead there.
They're alive here, and they are. We are keeping a tank full of seawater, and then we load the mackerel into the tank with a level of maybe 60% of mackerel, and the rest is seawater. So the mackerel dies in the tank.
Okay.
Yeah. There's too much fish to be any stunning or.
Do we need to think only 3 vessels to do that? I mean, you're probably passing 12 to 15 hours from the plant and the saving time and also the processing time in shore.
Yeah.
What are you doing with 2 boats?
Yeah, it requires 3 vessels at a time, and currently the cooperation between the fishing vessels in Faroe Islands, we are 6 vessels in one group. That are since we are pair trawling, we need to pair trawl. It's more efficient. We could single trawl over doors, but we would not. The mackerel is very fast swimming, so it's better with pair trawling. So when this ship is full, there's another ship waiting.
So you mean
to
3
connect.
vessels, pumping vessels?
3 vessels at the time, at each. For one trawl, those 3, and when this is full, after normally 24 hours, there's another ship waiting and connecting the hose.
So you have the same vessel trolling and the other kind of supply vessel.
Yeah, it is pelagic trawlers. It's practically all the same ships, the same type of ship.
You don't change the ships from like the one told the troll. They are trolling all the time.
No, we are switching.
Yes,
Yeah, because these ships also need to get into the port to get food and oil and stuff like that. So we have 4 ships that have the system on board. Yeah. Now I got the yellow card.
One question: there's no chance of the pumping vessels, we'll say, interfering with the troll.
That could be one of the disadvantages, that it's disturbing the shape of the troll. It could be, but they try to sail with this equipment and to disturb it as little as possible. But we have no measurements of disturbing it. But these, seeing the sonar picture, when they can see right away if the ship lags behind, and they can see the height of the square falling. If the ships fall behind, and then the skipper on this ship says, now you have to sail faster, and then.
But the skipper on the receiving side, he doesn't have any control. He can't see anything of the troll.
This guy, this one.
Yeah.
You can see the camera and the sonar equipment placed here, but the sonar equipment here goes up to the ship, and we are working on connecting all the screens to all the vessels, and also maybe getting the supply vessel. They have in the oil industry, the supply vessel have dynamic positioning, and we are thinking about implementing something like that for the ship.
One last question.
In the agriculture, they wanted the salmon to stay alive until they reach the islands. Have you been thinking about keeping mackerel alive in the tanks?
No.
Oxygen?
No, there would have to be too low a volume in the tanks. Yeah.